Good morning. Hey, Data, good morning. How you doing today? You asked when the submarine started, the race is starting. They started about 1 minute ago. Time hack, now a minute and 5 seconds ago. So anyway, I hope you've had a good time. Been a couple of days since I seen you, bud. But submarine, I was talking, speaking of submarine races, I was talking to buddy of mine that's Navy, and he absolutely hated submariners. He hated them with the purple passion. They just, but he was on a carrier, so I guess there's a lot of bad blood between the two different groups. Yeah, carriers are better, subs are better. Da 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 da. Who knows? It's like I was on the flight line. And those of us on the flight line, everybody else was a titless waff. You had sky cops, you had fire department. Oh, I remember submarine races were something else when I was growing up there. Data submarine races meant something totally different. I wonder if that's even still. I, uh, I wonder if that's even still if submarine race slang. Let's see what this got here. Okay, yeah, it's in there. Yep. Submarine, made up slang for activity young couples use as an excuse to go and sneak off and make out in their cars. All right. So, yep. Uh, like I said, back when I was a kid, submarine races meant you and your girlfriend were sneaking off into the woods or somewhere to go have sex. You know, do a little touchy touchy, fondly fondly. And it actually still in the internet that was still there. So, I mean, it's okay. So, yeah, I want to go ahead and close that tab. Oh, the wife's home. She went out with one of her friends to go out walking. Hey, Spanky, mom's home. Mom's home. He's laying there asleep. I scratched the top of his head and said, "Mom's home," and that head just snapped up like it just absolutely snapped up like he was attached to a wire. It's, okay, there he goes. The big stretches. He's awakened now. He's up. Did you have fun with your walk, dear? Good. You you don't sound too happy though, or is it just tired?
Mwah.
Dana was asking me what submarine races were. Data was asking me what submarine what submarine races were.
Submarine races?
Yeah.
What are they?
Back in the day when you and I was young, it meant you and your boyfriend or girlfriend were heading out to the woods or someplace for a little touchy touchy feely feely, smoochy smoochy.
And those are submarine races.
That was submarine races when I was
Okay.
a teenager.
Heard of it.
She led such a protected childhood. Okay. Anyway, Ramen got her new microphone in, and last I heard, she was charging it. Now, I'm going to assume once she got it charged, she was going to go ahead and get it set up to her computer or her cell phone, whatever she's going to do to work with today. So she may pop in if everything works right, hopefully. But here's a little video that I just come across on X, and I actually like what this man has to say because I actually agree with him. So
Someone asked me if I support the protests that are going on in LA. I 100% do. Please keep going. Burn down your own backyard if you must. You know why? Because this right here is the greatest campaign ad that this side never had to pay for. Y'all motherfuckers out there in Los Angeles throwing a full-blown fucking tantrum. Like y'all just crawled out the Rio Grande, screaming death to America. In a country Mexican. You're American with Mexican heritage. And a tattoo of the Virgin Mary you got on a Vegas bender. Don't get it twisted, I respect the heritage. But flying a foreign flag while shitting on the country that gave you the fucking freedom to do it, that's not pride. You don't even go to fucking Mexico unless it's for spring break in Cancun with a passport you got from the US government. And you won't go live there. Why? Because you like your DoorDash, your 7-Elevens, your air conditioning, and your freedom to scream dumb. That's how you end up in a back alley, starring in Cartel TikTok Season 3. Meanwhile, the rest of America is sitting back watching you block freeways during rush hour, destroying businesses, wearing $300 fucking Jordans, screaming about injustice. In the city with the most social programs and diversity hires in the fucking country. Y'all are the political version of throwing a Molotov cocktail at a fucking Prius because you're mad about gas prices. So listen, I'm not mad you're passionate. I'm mad you're dumb. And your dumbass behavior is helping the other side more than a Trump rally in Texas with free brisket. Every time y'all riot, loot, tearing up your own shit, you're just birthing another red voter. So yeah, I support the protest. Keep fucking going. Keep flying flags of countries you ain't got the fucking balls to move to. And shitting on the system that literally gives you the right to shit on it.
But I can't hear it through.
good, and I agree with him 100%. These rioters are making more people into Trump supporters than anything else we could do. Good morning, Ramen. We can hear you, but you are a bit bumpy, like you're rubbing up against your microphone.
Let's try pulling up the volume mixer again because it's not showing.
She's not hearing me, so I'm going to mute her. Hey, morning, Spoonie. How you doing today? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Anyway, so I'm in a way I'm loving these riots, but just in a way, okay. Once again, I'm and I actually pulled it up. Where did I have it hit at?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ramen.
I can hear you now. My daughter muted this site for some reason. Okay. I love my children. Is my sound okay? Waking up?
It sounds like you're rubbing against your mic, like it's
it is a
rubbing up
little
against
close,
some cloth.
but it's not touching. It's my new headset. If this one's screwy, I'm giving up. So I hope this works today. That's my son yelling in the background. He's got PMS, so.
Okay, can you hear me, Ramen?
I hear you great. I am so happy to hear your voice.
Okay, because you are getting like you're rubbing up against your mic or fans blowing. Is the fan blowing against it?
I'm very hot. It's like 95 degrees in here. I'm sorry. Let me check this. Reduce background noise. No, we can't. I need you to be quiet. I said no. Get out.
Yeah,
I mean, a call. Don't
Spoonie,
do this.
I'm glad I live far away from LA too, but watching
Okay.
these people destroy their own backyards and everything
Right?
else is absolutely amazing.
It's watching Insanity Live.
Right. Um,
Hold on. Let me do this.
okay,
Hit reduce background.
Governor Newsom he carried out his threat. Governor Newsom suing Donald Trump and the Department of Defense for illegal takeover of Cal Guard unit. Well, as I said yesterday, and I will say again today, and I will probably say again tomorrow, if Newsom and Bass and the rest of the Democratic leadership of California had done their jobs to start with, Trump gave them 24 hours. All this, I think he actually gave him a little bit more than 24 hours, but let's just call it 24 hours. He gave him 24 hours to get the crap under control. And when they didn't get it under control, that's when he called in the Guard.
I don't understand though. Like, how can they call a state sovereignty when the people doing all this shit don't live there? I mean, I know a lot of it's like freaking Karens and everything and whatever, but come on. I mean, this isn't a state matter. It's whatever. I'm sorry.
And Newsom is still daring Trump to arrest him. I mean, he made a couple of snide comments about it yesterday, but he's making more snide comments about it today.
Promoting an insurrection. I mean, against himself. So I'm worried about that man's mental stability. He's inciting a insurrection against his own self.
Well, remember, Newsom is he's trying to put himself in a position to run for president.
He's not wrapped too tight. He looks like a great. I'm sorry. Shut up.
Remember back when Biden it looked like Biden was going to step down, but before he actually did,
yeah, he was recommending.
Newsom was in D.C. all over the place in private meetings with DNC leadership.
He looks like a villain in a Scooby-Doo cartoon. I'm sorry. He kind of does though. He's got that skinny nose and that sharp little face. He just looks like a friggin' fake vampire. I don't know. He just needs to get a cape and go, I do not say blah, blah, blah. And it'd be done. Come on.
So, coming down here to this, Donald Trump is creating fear and terror by failing to adhere to the U.S. Constitution, overstepping his authority.
Okay, I gotta say, this thing is really comfortable. Like, it's really secure. Holy shit, I like this thing. I'm sorry about the audio quality. I clicked reduce background noise. I don't think that helped.
Not much.
Okay, what else do we have?
But Newsom's saying this is a manufactured crisis. No, it's not manufactured crisis. It's your people out there rioting.
Manufactured fires.
Trump didn't hire a bunch of people and sent in there. He didn't send in the feds wearing, like Biden did, wearing the khaki outfits, pretending to be right-wing militia groups. Okay, these are your people from your state and your illegals that you love so much who are doing this. That's all there is to it. So if it's manufactured by anybody, Newsom, it's manufactured by you.
Yeah. I don't know. Those aren't manufactured fires. Those are real fires. I mean, I'm just waiting for the looting to start.
Oh, it's already started.
Of course.
And The Attorney General Bonta, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Bonta. This was his press release yesterday. All right. That he and Newsom have sued Trump and Defense Secretary Hegseth in response to their orders seeking to federalize the California National Guard for 60 days. In total, the department intends to deploy 2,000 troops from across the state in inflammatory escalation and supported by conditions on the ground. When your own chief of police makes the announcement that he cannot control, does not have the manpower to control the riots, and it's evident by what the rioters are doing, that there's not enough police forces there, and that the state has not sent in enough people. There's not state highway patrolmen out there, at least not enough of them. You don't have police officers from neighboring cities in there. So when it's evident to anybody with a pair of eyes that sits there and watches the video, it's evident that you don't have enough people there under your direct control. Then what's the president supposed to do? Allow the city to be burnt down to the ground? Allow federal law enforcement to be attacked? No. He can't do that. It's manufactured because it's a drug raid, not an ice raid, but they kept blaming it on ice. I've heard that, Spoonie, but again, there's so many different stories going on out there about what's causing what on this. There's a couple different things that I don't care what started it at this point. It's got to end. It has to end. Well, no, let me correct that. I do care about what started it. And what started it is the mass numbers, the millions of illegals that were allowed to enter the country for 4 years under Joe Biden. That's what started this whole thing. And as somebody else said yesterday, these people, the people in the country, but particularly Democrats, they're not used to a president actually keeping their promises. Remember, under Bill Clinton, we'll go back to Bill Clinton. Under Bill Clinton, he had a Democratic Congress. They want to keep saying, well, the immigration system needs to be revamped. Bill Clinton had a Democratic Congress. He could have revamped it any way he wanted to, but he didn't. But for his first 2 years, he had Democratic Congress. His first 4 years, I think he had Democratic Congress. But anyway, he had Democratic Congress. Obama had a Democratic Congress. Biden had a Democratic Congress. They wasted at least 6 years, probably closer to 10 years of Democratic Congresses with Democratic presidents that they could have run roughshod and had redone the immigration system any way they wanted to. And they never did. They talked about it a lot, but they never did anything. Sort of like the Republicans have done on other issues, like gun control. But Trump gets in office, and what's he doing, man? He is getting in there, and he's kicking ass, taking names, and fulfilling promises that he made. He did during his first term, and he's doing it this term. And knowing and having learned from his first term, he's not waiting on Congress and the anti-Trumpers in Congress, knowing that they're not going to get anything done. So he's getting it done through executive order. As Obama said, and the Democrats cheered, I've got a phone and a pen. I can get anything done I want to get done. And the Democrats cheered that. They ain't so happy, when the following presidents start doing the same thing, particularly when it's a Republican president, and especially since it's Trump. But we have to get the Republican Congress, because I honestly believe that Congress is going to switch. At least the House is going to switch over to the Democrats come midterms. I honestly believe it's going to swap over to the Democrats under midterms. So they've got a little over a year to get things done. And they keep taking vacations. They keep taking breaks. Look at the trouble the big, beautiful bill's got to now. It's not going to pass the Senate. Big, beautiful bill's not going to pass the Senate. There's too many Republicans sitting there saying, well, we don't know about this. So, but anyway, Benita and crew, they are, and, but Bonta, saying, let me be clear. There is no invasion. There is no rebellion. The president's trying to manufacture chaos and crisis on the ground for his own political ends. He gave y'all 24 hours to get the stuff under control. And yet you sat there on your hands and let it go. Just because you're a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state, that doesn't mean that federal laws do not apply. That doesn't mean your people sit on their hands and let federal police such as ICE and U.S. Marshals get attacked in the streets. Because if you want to sit on your hands and let that happen, then what's going to happen then? The president's going to call in military troops. He's going to bring up the National Guard. And speaking of bringing up federal troops, they've called up the Marines. And everybody, all the Democrats are going nuts. Look at this. He's bringing in the Marines. He's violating posse comitatus. No, he's not. He is allowed to bring in the Marines or the Army or the Air Force or the Navy to protect federal property, which is what he's doing. He's not putting them out on the streets to arrest rioters. He's not even putting them out on the streets to escort ICE. He's putting them around federal buildings to protect federal property, which he is allowed to do. So he's not violating posse comitatus. Now, if those idiots decide to attack the Marines, like they tried, attacking the police and such back during the last sets of riots, They may find a whole different story on retaliation. Because the Marines have got a reputation, a well-earned reputation. And I would not want to be that person doing anything to them for love nor money. Yesterday, I showed you all the video of Maxine Waters getting locked out of the detention center because it was under federal lockdown. She wasn't very happy about that. So old Maxine decided to go. And, she just can't shut up. She's got to keep her mouth running 24/7.
What are you going to do? You going to shoot some kid who's afraid of you and run?
Now, yeah, this volume is low. That's why I'm glad somebody put up the bubbles here so you can see what she's actually saying.
What are you going to do? You going to shoot some kid who's afraid of you and run? You going to shoot an elected official? If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city.
Maxine Waters. This 80-some-year-old, wrinkled old woman, you actually think that you can insult these people enough to make them do something? But all you're doing is providing a prime example of why the Democrats need to be they need to take a look at their party and start from scratch. Yeah, Raman. Oh, that would have been funny if somebody would have responded back like that. But these guys are standing there. They're not doing nothing. They're not walking the streets. They're saying they're protecting a federal building. Because it's obvious that that building needed protection. But she got her butt hurt the other day when she got locked out of the detention center. So yesterday she had to come up and run her mouth here at the troops. And that's all she can do is run her mouth. Now, when she gets back to D.C., she's going to be taking up her morning minute. God, I used to love morning minutes when Jim Traficant was in office out of Youngstown, Ohio, before he went to jail. His morning minutes were amazing. They were absolutely history. Because it usually ended them with "beam me up." But Maxine, come on. What do you think you're going to get away with here? Because these you're not going to goad them into doing anything.
They were going into homes. They were going into places of work. Would you not be angry?
What are you going to do? You going to shoot some kid who's afraid of you and run? You going to shoot an elected official? If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city. You did. The governor was not contacted. This is Trump and his outrageous attempt to not only target our sanctuary.
She's there, yeah. This is all posturing now for the media. You see all these camera guys come running up to get pictures, to get these pictures of her doing that.
City, but to frighten us and intimidate us. This is wrong, and I hope that none of you will use those guns to shoot anybody. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Don't
The only reason to shoot anybody is if they attack them. Get the mob under control, and nobody's going to get shot, Maxine. Well, her wig is slipping there bad.
allow them to make your service in a service where you're killing people. Don't do it. Defy them. Don't shoot those guys for anything.
Thank you.
Did you hear these guys telling her thank you, thank you?
Don't allow them to make your service in a service where you're killing people. Don't do it. Defy them. Don't shoot those guys for anything.
Thank you. What do you think about the protests that happened? Do you believe that they had the Samaritan response?
Yeah, these guys,
Are you going to shoot a protester because you don't like what they're saying? Why the guns? Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here.
Why do the guns have to be there? Because your riders out there are throwing bricks, they're throwing rocks, they're throwing explosive devices. Yes, sourpuss old bag. The people you're out there supporting are throwing crap at them. That's why they've got their guns. Because without their guns, those rioters would come up and attack them physically.
YouTube deleted my comment because I put shooty.
I'm sorry, what's that, Raman?
YouTube is censoring me.
I can barely hear you.
YouTube is censoring me. There we go. This is pretty much what they do. When you say something, they rephrase it and try to make it sound like you said it. So, there you go.
Okay, Spoonie, I'm not certain how to take your comment there. Who's acting like the brown shirts? Hey, morning, Neil.
Morning.
I'm beyond despising the woman. She is living in the past. She's living 50 years in the past of what the world and the country is like today.
I don't know, man. She's a politician. 50 years ago, she couldn't have been that. But hey,
She's never gotten out. She's never gotten her mind out of the Jim Crow days. To her, every white man is a racist. We're all KKK members to her. Now, and that's just her mindset. She reminds me of my one grandparent. Okay, and it's because of the time. I mean, the guy was 80 years old when I was in my teens. Okay. And, and I'm talking in the 70s. This guy was born in the 1800s, 1890s. And he had the mindset of that early 1900s when it came to women, when it came to minorities.
Don't you
And
worry yourself, you little lady. The men are talking. Oof.
and I mean, I know he loved his wife. I know he loved my grandmother. All right. But the whole thing was just a different lifestyle for him back then. And he never got into the 60s, the 1960s and 70s. So, and, Maxine is the same way. She has never evolved forward out of the 1930s and 40s, the 50s. She's never got, her mind is stuck back in that time period. And while I understand it, I can't believe people are still voting for her. But you would think that that people would understand that her whole mindset, her whole attitude is not what is needed to make this country progress. And I'm not talking progress as in the progressive mindset. I'm talking about, the country growing together, becoming more unified, because she's a divider.
Oh, yeah. Woman, where is your man? Sorry.
Okay. Can you put that fan to your back?
I'm trying. Let's hope I don't blow something up. Because I did blow something up recently. Okay, it's almost there. Dude, it's 85 outside and it's 90 in here. I don't know why my apartment is so much hotter than it is outside.
Okay, there you go. That got rid of the noise.
Oh my God.
We're a sanctuary.
All right, now, okay, let's go back and listen to this woman some more.
I don't get why the guns have to be here. We're a sanctuary city. We know Trump doesn't like us. We know that he's going to try
people
to use
throw
us
a
as an
rock at
example.
her, but don't give a shit about no sanctuary city.
And the thing is, sanctuary city, all that means is that your city employees do not aid and assist federal employees. That's what it means. It does not mean that your people inhibit them.
He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law. He even alluded to civil war at one point in talking.
You're the one talking about civil war.
Right?
And no, he does not want to bring up the Insurrection Act. But he's reminding you that it's there. And that unless that state gets their act together, unless the cities get their act together, that is a tool, the final tool, but it's a tool in the toolbox.
The final solution.
About this issue.
And headset.
We have a bunch of crazy, unreliable leadership in this country now.
Right.
Thank you for describing yourself. Crazy and unreliable.
She looks like she is.
Were you looking in the mirror just before you saying that?
She's like 8 Long Island teas into this thing. She needs to go home and take a nap and sleep it off.
President is in charge. He's in charge of all of the independent agencies. He's got the MAGA crowd around him, and they are saying some of the most outrageous
Didn't stop one of your people trying to shoot him.
Frighten and intimidate. And so I'm not surprised at what they're saying. They're crazy. They're outrageous. And the people of America got to know what's happening.
The people of America do know what's happening, and we voted for this to happen. We voted for him to deport illegals. In fact, when he said that he was going to start, he wasn't going to deport all, start off just deporting every illegal he could find, that he's going to go after the worst of the worst. I'm sitting there going, no, they're all bad. Deport them
Yeah,
all.
they're here illegally,
They're all criminals. Deport them. If you see them, deport them.
right?
Don't say, you're a criminal. You're here illegally, but you're not. You haven't kicked a dog today, so we're not going to deport you today.
Oh my God.
No, you're here illegally. It's time to hit the road. It's time to hit the road.
Trump hates us. He hates sanctuary cities. He's going to try and make an example out of us. No, I'm not surprised.
Sanctuary cities aren't really doing. Thank you, baby.
You guys are making the example for him. He's not the one orchestrating these riots. I know this woman with that helmet.
Mm.
She makes videos.
Ew.
I've watched a
I
couple of
can
her
smell
videos.
her from her fake pleather from here. Oh my God.
In a dysfunctional way to criminalize people.
This is not just about deportation. This is about how they're going to treat people of color in America. And this is how he's going to get to have martial law because he wants to goad us into a fight. They have all the guns.
And the scare tactics. First, they're going to come after the illegals, and then they're going to come after us black and brown folk.
Oh, are you here illegally? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
This is what I was saying earlier. This is what I meant. Her mind has never gotten out of the early 1900s.
Oh my God.
Her mind has never gone beyond the Jim Crow days.
Mm.
We know they have all the guns. We got to let people know that we have a right to speak up. We're supposedly in a democracy and have a voice, but we've got to heighten that voice. We've got to improve
your
that
voice, not
We've
go
got
on.
to get more people involved.
Your voice has been heard for years. It's our voices that finally getting heard.
Bootha, you never shut up.
For 4 years, you guys let everybody y'all. What Biden didn't start the enforcing any border laws until his last couple of months in office. Then they finally started cracking down on the border.
Well, his last term, he was cracking down on all the Peter rings. So I can understand why they didn't want him back. And they lost their minds when he started running again. I mean, if your buddies are all going to jail,
And perhaps we can push back. Is someone that's in charge that can, an elected official has a right to go to check out what's going on. Who can I speak to? You know, anybody? No?
The building is locked down.
Well, good. It's safer like that.
You're not getting in there. It doesn't matter that you're an elected official.
If I worked there, I wouldn't want some crazy politician running and screaming and waving their arms and talking about shooting people. I want to be in my little cubicle under my desk waiting for it all to quiet down.
Exactly.
How can you work in that kind of atmosphere?
We have been tear gassed. We have been flashed
Maxine wants to bring the
Yeah.
tear gas inside.
Yes, you have been tear gassed, you have been flash bombed, and you
Yeah,
deserve
my heart bleeds for you.
every second of it. Okay, let's see here. I can go ahead and close that tab. But this. But speaking of illegals, this is Minnesota. Minnehaha.
Oh,
Now, obviously, you can tell I've already gone. I'm this 6 minutes. I've already eliminated a minute and 20 seconds of it.
okay.
Okay, but this is from last night.
There about how we came to the United States, and I always thought that we came here because my
She's Vietnamese. Okay.
Okay.
grandfather was a colonel in the secret war. And I thought that that meant that we were in line to come to the U.S. And my father told me that that was not true, even though my parents both worked for a Christian organization. And my father actually worked at the U.S. consulate because he was one of the few people who could speak English, and he could type really fast, and apparently that was a very valued skill then. So they had my father move away from the refugee camp from my mom and my sisters and I, and he went to live at the consulate where he processed all of the paperwork for the refugees that came to America. And we had missed our time to come to the U.S. 3 times, and if we didn't...
Okay, now catch that. They were offered 3 trips to come to the U.S. as refugees from Vietnam, and they didn't,
And
and they missed all 3 of them. Now, if this is me, and I'm in Vietnam in the 1960s, and I got a chance to get out of there, I'm not going to miss the first appointment, especially if I'm trying to get my family out of there.
right?
I am going to be there 2 days early. I will be one of the first people standing at that gate waiting to go in to get out of country. I'm not going to miss the first opportunity, let alone miss 3 opportunities. So something right there is telling me that there's something off kilter here about this story.
Come that last time, we would not have been able to come to the U.S. And I said, wow, what luck of ours. And my mom said it wasn't luck. We did not have our names on that list to come to the U.S. because even though your grandfather worked for the CIA, and because there was no, like if you were a child of somebody worked for the CIA, the only people that had names to come to the U.S. were if you were in the direct military and you worked for the CIA or you worked for USAID. And which is why it's so personal to me that USAID is getting unfunded, but we did not do either one of those. My parents' Christian organization did not count. And so what my father did was one of our uncles worked for USAID, and because his mother had died, my father, as the one processing the paperwork, put my grandmother down as his mother. And so I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal here in this country. And when we were fleeing that situation, never one time did my family say, let's look at which state has the...
She is admitting that her entire family's been here since the 70s illegally. Now, this here is supposedly, in that minute and a half that I cut out, a sort of a deathbed confession by her father.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It's it's in that beginning part of this. It's sort of a deathbed confession that he did all this. So, You know, and taking this in this light, that up until quite recently, she had believed that they were all here legally as Vietnamese refugees. Okay, you got by one. You and your family that are here are here. Yes, you lied. You know, or your father lied, and therefore everything that you've ever written down was incorrect. But unless they can prove that she knew that she was falsifying everything when she did the paperwork, when she decided to run for office, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So at this point, but I mean, it's pretty bold that she's standing up there, at this point saying, "Yeah, I'm an illegal." And because I've been here illegally all this time, we need to let all these other illegals be here. And we need to take care of all these illegals, which is where she's going. She's a member of the DFR in Minnesota. That's a Democratic adjacent party. But what she's pushing for here, and all this is in some, trying to garner support for giving more money and more uh, health care and such for illegals. And there are times, yeah, I'm kind of hard assed about illegals being in the country. But somebody that's a family that was a refugee from the Vietnamese War, and especially if, as she said, her father was working for American forces while over there, then and he took he did what he could to get his family here. But I still don't understand how they missed their first three chances. Because there's no way in hell I'd miss one chance, let alone three of them. But now, you got to wonder how many other illegals do we have sitting in elected positions? Now, this is Minnesota. This isn't in Washington. This is at their state legislature. Would she be eligible to run for office again? Has she just ended her political career?
I'm betting she was planning to retire soon anyway. She's not a young chicken.
Yeah, but look at Maxine Waters. Look at Nancy
Oh my God,
Pelosi.
that hoe bag. You know what? All these people admit they're not reading these giant bills going through. They need to put something in with like a bill Democrats love, like stricter gun regulations. Say it's all about that and slip in term limits. Just a 5,000 page thing about one stricter gun law. Just slip in term limits.
We've got term limits. It's called the people voting them out of office. We've got term limits.
You know that it. And then you got Maxine who's like older than friggin' Moses. Like, come on.
And
This is Book at Pelosi.
I will continue to say, all right, that I oppose term limits because we've already got them in the fact that you can vote somebody out of office. But look how AOC got into office. She primaried the third most powerful Democrat in the House of Representatives.
Uh-huh. And look,
And
Newsom's literally been
and
destroying his state for years. This isn't the first or second or third horrible incident that's happened there. Come on.
well,
It's
but people are entitled to the representatives that they want in Washington, D.C.
say that's the same argument I had about letting Trump keep running. But oh no, that was my phone. Okay. Damn it, there's my bills. Alright. You got me.
Well,
Man.
but Neil, she still primaried the third most powerful Democrat in the House of Representatives. All right, she beat him in the primaries. He thought he was safe, didn't go out and hustle, didn't go out and beat down the doors. She did. The people that wanted her in office did that and beat him in the primaries. Now, I'm not saying the guy she, replaced I had any great love for. And I thought he was a great politician or even a good politician. I'm just saying that term limits, the only limitations that I would support would be because of cognitive failure or physical failure. The guy's laying in the hospital and can't get out of bed, and he's not going to get out of bed. Then yeah, he needs to be removed from office and somebody else sat in. Or they're Joe Bidening. They're in the Alzheimer's dementia phase. They're starting to sundown. Then yeah, we need somebody else in office.
Well, we know that's not gonna happen. They covered up for him for years. So
Right.
Maxine's not looking too stable there. I'm just saying,
Oh no,
they might want
Maxine is not a stable individual.
no.
So, but yeah, that just made the news last night. Hear about the representative her. Don't even ask me to try to pronounce the Kaohla. That's not going to happen. DDD sharing this tab over here. Okay. DOJ identifies suspect accused of assaulting federal officer. Oh my! They found one guy. They arrested one person for assaulting a federal officer. There's hundreds more that need to be arrested for what they've done. Don't stand there on pretending you've got a bunch of laurels because you've arrested one person for throwing rocks and crap at National Guard and federal officers when there's hundreds more out there that have done the exact same thing. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Monday the suspect accused of assaulting a federal officer during anti-ICE demonstrations in LA have been identified. U.S. Attorney Bill Easley identified, don't even ask me, for Elpido Reyes, a suspect who was captured on video throwing rocks at federal officers in Paramount, California. The FBI asked for the public's help by offering $50,000 reward. There the guy is. They offered 50 grand for him. There's his picture. So I don't know if they're still trying to get 50 grand for somebody turning him in or not. But come on. That's one person. That's one person. We've got video of hundreds of people throwing rocks, shooting explosive devices and such at uh, National Guard and ICE agents. So let's, you're not standing there and giving us any great laurels there, Bondi. I'm not. I like Pam Bondi. She come out of Florida, but she has not done anything since she's been up there to really cover herself in glory. She's done a lot of great talking. She's being a typical. She's sort of like eye patch man there out of Texas. Gets up there and talks a great story in front of the cameras, but when you actually look to see what they've accomplished, they haven't accomplished squat. I'm starting to get concerned about Dan Bongino and Cash Patel. Come on, guys, what are you doing? I hear a lot of talk from you. Those who loot businesses in California will face a maximum of 20 years in prison. Those who spit on officers will also serve time. Baloney. Bondi, quit saying things that's not going to happen. The same way with you, Cash. Patel promises FBI coming for anyone assaulting cops as Los Angeles erupts. No, you're not going to overboard in the court system like that. You're not going to do it. Not unless a cop ends up in the hospital or dead. But just throwing stuff, you're not going to bring federal charges against them. It's not going to happen. Okay. Now, they did say that guy did injure a federal officer. Well, if it's a bruise like what I got on my arm, walk the damn thing off. But yeah, just there's that. What's this next one I got? Oh, okay, here we go. Now, they're going nuts here over the National Guard and the Marines in LA. And you heard Maxine there yelling, what are you going to do? You going to shoot me? You going to shoot me? While all the troops are carrying weapons, their guns will not have ammunition in the chamber. They'll carry ammunition as part of their regular uniforms that can be used in the rare case of needed self-defense. They're Barney Fifes. These poor guys are standing out there as Barney Fife with their one bullet. I don't know if how many of y'all remember that running joke with the Andy Griffith show. Barney kept shooting himself in the foot, so he had to carry his bullet in his shirt pocket. He was only allowed one. Well, that's what they're doing, these National Guard and Marines. They will not use rubber bullets or pepper spray. They noted that these rules would change if President Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, which he has not done, and which he probably most likely will not do.
Use paint guns. Those things hurt like a mofo, I've heard.
Those paint guns filled with pepper balls, man, they do not feel good.
Fill it with glitter paint. Insult
There
to injury,
was
man.
there was a Australian. There's a video out there, and I don't have it. I tried to find it this morning, and I couldn't find it again. It made me mad. Let me try it again here. Australian reporter. Shot in leg. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if that's the video. Yep, here we go. And pause the video, bring it back. Come back. Here we go. Okay, so let me share this. Now, I had to watch this video a couple of times to see where it happened from. Oh, come on. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Amazon.
Them on through the heart of LA.
Okay. Watch this guy right here. You see that? This guy right here, no, there he is back here. I'm sorry. He takes aim at her.
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
There's that I shouldn't be laughing at it, but whoever that was that I mean that was intentional.
You okay?
So let's see, where's this other video I got here? Now, the reporters, though, have been as bad as anybody when talking about this. And here we go. Okay, this is the local reporters here, ABC News 7 out of Los Angeles. Making certain I got the volume turned up all the way. Yep, okay, great. It's mostly peaceful, even though we got fires going everywhere. Now, these cars, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these cars on fire. These are those Waymo cars. They're between $150,000 and $200,000 a piece. Yeah, did you? He shot her in the leg on purpose. But these Waymo cars are $150,000 to $170,000 a piece. They figure there's reports that I saw this morning that 5 of them have been burned down, and the collective damages are over 200,000 or over $2 million in damages just to Waymo cars. So let's back this up here a little bit. Let you listen to this again without me interrupting them. Minus the car is being on fire, there's nothing wrong. Okay, I need to go to 2 minutes. What passed? That's 220, 212, 207. There we go. Okay, now listen to these two same reporters. You know, that's that $150,000 car that's on fire there. Did you hear what he just said? Just unbelievable that he actually said that.
I'm not hearing sound from the video.
You're not hearing sound.
I'm only hearing you.
Okay, let me come back over here and see what's going on. Okay, let me remove it and then try once again. And present, share screen, also share audio. Oh, you son of a gun, you. You son of a gun. Okay. What that reporter said was that people were just standing around having fun watching cars burn, and it would be uh cripes. I want to get the quote right.
You know, every time we think we hate people enough, this shit happens.
Yep. So okay. Let's see here. Reporter, people having fun watching car burn. All right. Well, I was trying to play you more than just the 17 seconds so that you could hear the whole thing in context. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. All right.
Group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
Okay, I was wanting you to hear more on both sides of that so that you could get that whole thing in context. But he sat there and actually said people having fun watching cars burn.
People having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers.
The
If
man,
it was his car first, he wouldn't think it was so much fun.
This was a professional reporter actually saying that people were just having fun watching the cars burn. Don't bring in the police because there's no need for the police
There's no
to
harm
be here.
done.
We're
It's
just watching
cars burning.
We're just watching $150,000 cars burn down to the ground.
Right? We're not doing something dangerous like deporting violent criminals. We're just setting fire to people's property.
No, so what if $2 million worth of cars get burned up in 24 hours? Who cares? What an unmitigated crack that was. What I'm going to have to start doing is when I've got videos like that I want to play, I'm going to probably have to upload them to my Discord and then play them off the Discord channel. Well, I don't know if he'll let me do that. I'll have to figure out a way because I don't have either that or else I'm going to have to get my own website to upload videos to be able to play them. Because I actually download that off of MRC, but the problem was with MRC is it would only play for a couple of seconds and then start and have to reload again. It was a chronic issue. Well, that's 3 videos now I can't play because you guys can't listen to them. That absolutely sucks.
I'm sorry. I tried. There's just no sound.
Well, I'm glad you said something because I'm thinking the sound's going through to everybody. But now I know better.
Okay, and glitter is not just a STD of the craft world. It is the herpes of the craft world because once you get it, it is never going away. A friend of mine, she had some problems at her job, and I told her, don't listen to me. Don't ever listen to me. But she listened to me, and now she is on an unwanted leave of absence. Somebody was stealing her lunch. You know, I hate that shit more than anything. But she's part Indian, so sometimes she'd bring these really wonderful meals that her mom made her. Or about her dad's Italian. Sometimes she'd bring in the lasagna. Whatever it was, it always smelled great. And she had something like 20 meals stolen in like 2 months. And she got sick of that shit. She didn't want some sub from what is it, Jersey Mike's or anything like that. She didn't want that crap. She wanted her food. So she got a little mini fridge and put it under her desk, and somebody broke into it and left passive aggressive notes in it about how you're not a team player and all this shit. So she had a feeling she knew who was doing it and who was stealing her food. So, well, okay, this isn't the glitter part, but she took a couple of spoonfuls of her lasagna and put it in an opaque container so you couldn't see it was only a tiny bit. And then she put a layer of aluminum foil over it. And then she put a piece of paper on it. And the bitch had been stealing her food, put the plate in the microwave to heat it up. And of course, there was an explosion in the microwave because she stole someone's food that had aluminum foil in it. And, you don't put that in the microwave. Then she opened
Oh,
it. Yeah, then she opened it and read the food stamp application that had been kindly left for her, as well as the sticky note. Hi, I'm being a team player and helping you get through your struggles. Hopefully, you'll be able to afford your own food soon. Bye bye. Okay. She went and did a racist rant down in HR and accused this woman of creating a toxic work environment and all this other shit. So they called her in for a meeting. She said, okay, I won't supply the office with food anymore. That's where the third party came in, who is a fan of Mark Rober. I don't know if you can figure out where this is going. So we got some Big Mac boxes from McDonald's. And yeah, so he put the little thing in it and turned some Big Macs into glitter bombs and put them in the office fridge. And next thing you know, this puta sitting in her car, opened up a giant glitter bomb. Yeah. So she went back to the office and everybody clapped because that's what you do. And she had to report back to a meeting with a client, head to toe covered in glitter, or head to waist, because it only reached like her knees, the glitter, and yeah, it hadn't trickled down yet. But yeah, so everybody involved is now on probation. One for putting what is it in legal terms? Tempting hazard, an attractive nuisance. My friend for doing the attractive nuisance, the other one for theft. So yeah, they're both on probation. And oh my God, she's so mad at me. Why did you make me I didn't make you do anything. Leave me alone. You did this to me. Yeah.
well, now here is a very under.
What?
Shios.
The officer hasn't
Good,
found out. She
good
started.
morning, Shio. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, she actually started a GoFundMe in that person's name this morning. It hasn't gotten back to the office yet, so she can afford lunch.
Okay. Now here is a story that I doubt anybody's heard much about.
Oh, food insecure. That's the phrase she used. I couldn't remember.
Okay.
What story?
FBI arrests third Chinese national in U.S. for smuggling biological materials. A Chinese PhD student has been detained for allegedly smuggling roundworm-linked biological materials into the United States. This comes amid a broader probe into unauthorized CCP-linked bio research. The third Chinese national arrested in connection with the widening investigation into they say unauthorized smuggling. Is there ever authorized smuggling? Do you if it's an authorized, if you're authorizing someone to bring someone into the country, then it's not smuggling. So there's no such thing as unauthorized. I mean, unauthorized smuggling is a double negative, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, come here. Put this away. Okay, you know what? Go search a bunch of Democrats' houses and see if there's any preteens locked in the basement. Then ask them that question again. Here, put this in the fridge. Thank you.
In a post on X, Patel confirmed that this Chen Hang, a PhD student from Wuhan, what didn't Wuhan make the news about 5 years ago? Yeah, was detained by. If there's a few, they've got a few dead bodies at their doorstep there at Wuhan.
Oh my God! Yeah,
worldwide dead bodies.
The world was coming to an end. Yeah.
Was detained by agents from the FBI Detroit at Detroit Metropolitan Airport on June 8th. He stands accused of sending 4 packages containing biological materials related to roundworms to individuals affiliated with the laboratory at the University of Michigan. He allegedly made false statements to federal officers about the packages and had erased her, oh, this is a female, and had erased her electronic device shortly before arriving to the U.S. I wonder if they're talking about like a cell phone. Because, you know, when you're coming through customs, if you have a cell phone, a computer, anything like that, they're going to go through it. And if you refuse to unlock it and give them access to it, they'll just confiscate it and you won't get it back. You know, that they'll attempt to they've got computers that will attempt to break your code.
Yeah.
To let them in, but if they can't break your code, you're not getting your computer or cell phone back. So, lesson to be learned here, guys. You're going into a foreign country, even if you're going into Canada, buy a burner phone. And take that with you. Leave your good Samsung or iPhone or whatever. Leave that at, stateside. Give everybody the burner phone number, your cheap little Walmart one that's good and that you got international roaming on or whatever, and take that with you. And use that little burner phone. Don't take your good phone.
Okay.
So anyway, Han allegedly, in a subsequent interview with agents of the FBI and ICE and Homeland Security, she admitted to both sending the shipments and lying about their contents. She is the third PRC-connected individual charged with similar allegations in recent days, framing the arrest as part of a broader national security crackdown on covert biological research linked to the Chinese Communist Party. Why are we letting them in country? Why are we letting CCP people from China in country now?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong people.
Now, I don't remember. And the other day, and I deleted the Excel spreadsheet I had built up. But I don't remember if China was on Trump's
travel
ban or not. Let's see here. Trump's.
I don't think it was.
2025. Okay, come on, open up. Taking forever for these things to open up. Nope, China is not on it. Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea, Congo, Burundi, Somalia, Yemen, Sudan, Chad, Libya, Turkmenistan, Iran, Afghanistan, Myanmar, and Laos. So China is not on that list. There's the list right there.
Okay.
Got outright bans and then partially restricted. And China is not listed. Well, if we've already caught 3 of them in a short time span of time, importing chemicals, biological materials into the country that they're not supposed to be, then we've got a problem. This arrest follows the recent detention of 2 other Chinese nationals, a Chinese researcher employed at the University of Michigan, and her partner, also a researcher at the Chinese institution. The pair have been charged with smuggling dangerous agricultural pathogens. Don't even ask me. Fusarium, graminarium, whatever. Don't ask me to pronounce that because I won't be able to do it correctly. Investigators allege that Jin brought the fungus into the country covertly, continued her research in violation of U.S. biosecurity protocols, and had previously received funding from the Chinese government. Liu is accused of helping smuggle the pathogen through Detroit airport, initially denying involvement before ultimately admitting to it. So why?
Money. She's being funded by her government. There you go.
Why haven't we? Usually it's the people without degrees and such that we don't want to come into the country. Evidently, from China, it's the people with degrees. We don't want well-educated Chinese coming into the country because they're starting to smuggle crap with them. The fungus, which causes a head blight, poses a significant threat to cereal crops and can produce toxins harmful to humans and livestock. Federal prosecutors have labeled this case as an example of agro-terrorism.
Okay, through I gotta.
You got to what?
My pain going through my eye from my glasses. I'm taking them off, and I'm gonna go. Well, I'll try to come back. I don't know what's gonna happen.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
All right. Later on, Ramen.
Bye.
Get feeling better. I'm not giving a spy pro tip. I'm just saying, some of us like to travel to Canada on occasion. We got relatives in Canada. Like to go up and visit them. Well, if you don't want your cell phone torn apart, and if you got naked pictures of your spouse on your phone that you've forgotten about, you don't want to let the people there at customs to see those pictures, which, they're going to go through. They're going to go through your phone and look at all the pictures on there. So, either you try to remember to take all the pictures off your phone before you go, or just, go spend $30 or $40 and get a burner phone. And don't do anything stupid with it while you're on vacation. But I mean, you would think this would make the news. I'm talking above the fold news. We got 3 Chinese smuggling crap into the country, bioterrorism. That's not good news. That's not something we need. And I come across the article by accident this morning. So this isn't good stuff, people. Why are we letting this happen? Especially coming in from Wuhan. Wuhan damn near destroyed the world once. tried to with COVID. So yeah, something's not right somewhere that we need to be looking at. Yeah, we paid Wuhan. Why would they be smuggling the stuff in if they are working for us, Data? That's the point, is why would they be smuggling stuff in? Why would they be arrested and charged with smuggling? With agro-terrorism? That, again, that doesn't make sense for that to be happening if they were actually working for us. But anyway, honestly, I thought I was going to, one of the things that I covered, and I really want to cover this again. Um, da 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 da. Where did I put it? I ended up just having to make a list of all the pages I wanted to cover with here. And here's a little bit of history, because we got the left out there now telling the National Guard not to obey the orders of Donald Trump. Tell them to disobey their orders, not to do what Trump's telling them to do. But back in 2012, let me open up this, go and do a little time machine jump here. Back in 2012, and here's a newspaper article, one of many newspaper articles. Marine Sergeant Gary Stein gets other than honorable discharge over anti-Obama Facebook comment. This was in April of 2012. A conservative Marine who started an Armed Forces Tea Party webpage has been given an other than honorable discharge for misconduct after declaring on Facebook, "Screw Obama, I will not follow all orders from him." Now, and later on, when they asked about that, Stein later clarified his remarks to say he wouldn't follow unlawful orders from the president, and argued his online comments were protected by the First Amendment. Well, civilian courts obviously didn't step in. He actually went to a civilian court and they said, "Sorry, you're in the military. That's military court's business, not ours." Which is the right thing to be, right thing. The court he went to did the right thing. Okay. And I'm not even going to disagree that he should have been punished somehow. But to be given an other than honorable discharge, that hurts. A friend of mine took 25 years to get his upgraded to a general discharge. He didn't get an honorable discharge out of it, he got a general discharge. You've got different levels of discharges. First thing you have is your honorable discharge. That's the one most people get. That means you served your time, you didn't get in a whole lot of trouble or any serious trouble. Then you have a general discharge. That means there's some issues. Not really serious, but some issues. So you're not going to get an honorable discharge, but you're going to get a general discharge. Then you have the other than honorable. That's like, yeah, he done some bad things. He didn't murder anybody, but he did some bad things. And then you have the bad chicken dinner, the dishonorable discharge. Or bad, yeah, the bad conduct discharge. And that's, yeah, he done some, he got himself into some crap. And then finally, the lowest one is the dishonorable discharge. That's you got caught selling drugs, you got caught, you molested somebody, you molested people, you killed somebody. Yeah, you got caught stealing stuff. You went through a courts martial and you're most likely going to go to prison, spend some time in jail. You're going to go to Leavenworth for a little while. So just because he said he wasn't going to and follow all orders and then explain that to mean unlawful orders of Obama, he was given an other than honorable discharge out of the Marine Corps. He'd been in for 9 years. The left pushed hard for that to happen. Now the left is out there telling these National Guard troops, and they'll be yelling at, you heard Maxine Waters. Why are you following the orders of Donald Trump? You've got people telling them, not to follow the orders. They're going to be doing that to the Marines. Why these are unlawful orders. So I'm always amazed at how hypocritical the left is, how situational their ethics are. How how situational their reading of the Constitution is. Like I said, I don't like everything in the Constitution. There's one particular part I honestly believe the founding fathers screwed up bad on. There's one little section in there, and forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head, that Congress can override your state elections. And that's one of the few, what I feel, mistakes in the Constitution are. But it's in there. And Congress hasn't abused it too badly yet. Have they abused it? Yes, but they haven't abused it too badly yet. Nancy Pelosi tried, but she backed off. Okay, where is it? Here we go. Now, this was an interesting article from this morning and this is off of Fox News. California sheriff says Newsom has encouraged the LA riots as ICE arrests violent illegals. Federal agents face a 413% increase in assaults while removing dangerous illegals from American streets. You, I haven't broken down where all, obviously you get into LA, you get into some of these blue cities and blue states. That's where you're going to find a lot
Absolutely appalled that we
of
are at this
attacks
point in
here.
society where people come out and think that this is okay. And then it makes it 100 times worse
Where
when you
am I
have
getting?
politicians that are encouraging
Oh,
it, that are not calling it what it is, which is criminal activity. The lying to all of us, lying to the media, and purposely using the word peaceful, while maybe they should look at their phones or their TVs, because I have law enforcement officers that are being shot at, that are being injured, that are being hurt, vehicles being damaged, things being burned, and they're calling it peaceful. It is a disgusting display of partisan politics. I wish they would all just put their phones down, be quiet, and let law enforcement handle this how it should be handled, which is the complete enforcement of law and holding criminals accountable. It's rocks, bottles, tools, weapons being thrown at us. Uh, you watched multiple vehicles destroyed yesterday by bricks. There are people hauling bricks into the zone and then dropping them off and leaving leaving them there for weapons. And then our deputies and our police officers they're being used against us. And we're being hit with bottles. We're being hit with glass bottles, with tools.
The sheriff is just laying it all out. He's laying out exactly what all is going on.
With rocks, with bricks. This is not a peaceful protest. It isn't even a protest anymore. It is a violent riot. And if they are going to try and do harm, then it is the responsibility of law enforcement to win that confrontation. And all of them need to go to jail. We know that gunfire has been reported. I know that there is a report of an officer being shot already. I'm not sure of the circumstances, so I don't know if it was pertaining to what is going on, or if it was involving something in the peripheral. I don't know. It's quite frankly, it's irrelevant. We are responsible for keeping people and property safe. And when people come and attack us, then we need to make sure that they're held accountable. They are trying.
The man's doing one. The man's not lying anywhere there. Okay. I don't want to. I'm going to save Riley Gaines for tomorrow. Riley Gaines and Simone Biles attacks. The attacks by Simone Biles on Riley, because that's getting to be quite the mess. That really and truly is. 2012, the end of the world. But anyway, guys, I made the wife a promise that in 10 minutes I would go out and do some yard work for her. And I got a couple things I need to go before I go out there and do that. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here today. I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening. Spoonie, I apologize if I misunderstood your post earlier in the stream. I apologize to you. But anyway, thanks guys for coming out and listening to me here with my little, and I will figure out a way of being able to show you guys these videos where you at least be able to hear the sound to them too. I will try to figure that out, because I don't like playing clips if I can find the whole thing, because that way you get the whole statement in context. because you can change. It's like I keep going referring back to Newt Gingrich's "Weather on the Vine" statement that the media took completely out of context. And the media and Democrats took completely out of context in order to try to hurt the Republican Party and Newt Gingrich with their amazing takeover of the House of Representatives for the first time in 40 years. Can you imagine that? The House of Representatives being owned by one party for 40 years? And the hatred by the media when it's switched over to the Republican Party for the first time because of the brilliance of one man. But that's what happened when Newt Gingrich came into the leadership of the Republicans and the House of Representatives. But anyway, y'all have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. I'm going to go outside and get hot and sweaty and nasty before I got to take care of other stuff today. All right. So y'all be a good one. We'll be back on Thursday. And because tomorrow is Wednesday, so I'll be half asleep on. Actually, no, the wife's on vacation this week, so I'll probably be in bed asleep tomorrow. Yay! Try to get some sleep, actually. So y'all have a good one. Be with the ones you love. Love the ones that you're with. And we'll see you on Thursday. Unless the world ends tonight. Bye-bye.